going to learn about some mathematical properties. So at the top, I want you to write the I can statement. And the I can statement for these properties is I can use properties to find equivalent expressions and solve expressions. Okay, and the first one we are going to learn about is the commutative property. The commutative property states that the order in which two numbers are added or multiplied does not change the sum or product. Alright, and then we have an example. So for example, if I do 7 plus 9, that's going to equal the same thing as 9 plus 7. Conversely, if I have 9 times 7, that will equal the same thing as 7 times 9. Alright, the associative property. The associative property states that the way in which three numbers are grouped when they are added or multiplied does not change their sum or product. Okay, for example, if I have 3 plus, in parentheses, 9 plus 4, that is going to be the same thing as 3 plus 9, in parentheses, plus 4. Alright, and then the last identity we're going to talk about today is the identity property. This is a big one that you're going to see in a lot of different sections in math, so it's really important that you know this identity property. The identity property states that the sum of an addend, which is a number that we just add, and 0 is the addend. Remember, an addend is just a word that means a number that's being added. The product of a factor and 1 is the factor. And some examples might help you clarify what this means. So for example, if I have the sum of an addend and 0 is the addend, so if I have 13 plus 0, this is an addend, the 13, plus 0, my answer is going to be that original addend, which is 13. Now if I look at the second statement, the product of a factor and 1 is the factor. So if I have 13 times 1, the product of a factor and 1 is the factor, so it is 13. That's all that the identity property says, but you're going to see that one a lot. So properties are statements that are true for any number. So for example, the expressions 6 times 10 and 10 times 6 are called equivalent expressions. Because they have the same value. Alright, let's turn it over and let's look at some of these examples. So now we have to determine if the expressions are equivalent, and then if they are, we have to name the property. So we have 15 plus 5 plus 8, and in parentheses 15 plus 5 plus 8. Are they equivalent? So 5 plus 8, that's 13. 13 plus 15, if you don't know, we can do it off the side, but that would be 28. Okay, so now we're going to look at 15 plus 5, that is 20. 20 plus 8, that is also 28. So yes, they are equivalent. And that property is the associative property. Okay. Example 2, are they equivalent? Well, we have 20 minus 12, that will be 8. And then 8 minus 3 is 5. And then over here we have 12 minus 3, that's 4. 20 minus 4 is 16, so they are not equivalent. So we don't have to answer this, but if we were going to do it, it would be grouping, and it would be associative. We're going to put not applicable because they're not equivalent. And remember, all of those examples that we looked at the front, or all the properties, they all deal with adding and multiplying. You don't see division and subtraction because they don't follow the same rules. Right? And then the last example, example 3, 20 divided by 5 and 5 divided by 20, they are not equivalent. If they were going to be, they would be the commutative property because they're trying to switch the factors around and just group them differently. But this is division, so they don't follow the same rules.